Okay, this next little mini lecture is going to be about different ways to organize the body of a speech. So different choices you can make while you're trying to organize. So the one that I think students use the most is a topical arrangement. And that's where, back to that analogy of a bunch of toys being thrown down on the floor. Well, now you're picking them up and you say, well, these are the Barbie dolls and these are the puzzles and these are the Legos, the building blocks maybe, and you have three different compartments for those. Those are all about topical or categories. If you go into a grocery store, you might have candy arranged by the chocolates, or maybe the candy bars, cookies, and then you might have things like hard candies. Those would be categories that are in there. So topical, that's the one students tend to use the most often. I'm not saying it's best. It just seems like it kind of comes naturally for students. Another way is chronological. So from beginning to end, if you were to talk about the history of the United States in the 1800s, the 1750s, and the 1960s, that'd be weird because you didn't go from the long past to the most recent. You jumped around in time. So you'd probably choose the organization from the past towards the present. That'd be the most normal that people would do. But there are times when maybe a person would do it the opposite and go from the present towards the past. So chronological is just the ordering of things. Spatial is when you're talking about where things are. If you were to talk about the spatial arrangement of a banjo, for example. So you might first, if you're going to teach about it, teach about the headstock of the banjo. So that's the spatial top. Then you might talk about the fretboard of the banjo. And then you might talk about the drum of the banjo, headstock, the fretboard, and the drum of the banjo. And that'd be spatially arranged in some way. If you were to talk about, I said earlier, with hip hop in the East Coast, the South, and the West Coast, that would make sense. If you were to do it from something like the East Coast to the West Coast to the Midwest, that probably wouldn't make as much sense because you'd probably want to actually travel across the United States as opposed to hop the coasts and then end up in the middle. So spatial arrangement. Shopping in Kohl's, you might talk about what it's like to be in the clearance section, the men's section, the women's section, something like that. So spatial. Then on the slide, this is slide number 10 of the body lecture. There are some common organization patterns for persuasive speeches, and one of those is the problem, cause, solution, and then conversely is the problem, solution, benefits. Those are the two most common organizational patterns for a persuasive speech. How do you know which one to choose? Well, there's a couple of options for you. One would be to first draft it with 4 points. Remember, I only allow 3 main points in these speeches, but you might first draft it as a problem, cause, solution, benefits. And if you first draft it with all 4 and you find out that the cause is kind of not fun, then skip it. And now you've got problem, solution, benefits. If you find out that the cause is fun, then maybe what you do is you skip the benefits. So you have problem, cause, solution. Or conversely, start with problem, cause, solution. If you find that that's a good speech, then just go with it. Or I guess actually you could go problem, solution, benefits. And if you think that that's good, then go with that. Whatever works. But you do just want to have 3 main points underneath there. So for example, if I were to tell you that the reason why we still make the penny, why do we still make the penny? So the causes of that might not be immediately obvious. And so if so, then you would probably do problem, cause, solution, because the causes are going to be interesting for people. But why do we have air pollution? What are the causes of air pollution? Chances are that's going to be probably pretty obvious. Things like factories, industry, cars, that kind of stuff is probably going to be pretty obvious why it's being caused. So you probably want to go problem, solution, benefits instead. So when the causes are boring, go problem, solution, benefits. If the causes are something that are actually interesting, go problem, cause, solution. All right. But again, it is your choice. I just want you to know that those are the most common patterns out there. Okay, I hope that helps. Topical, chronological, spatial, those are usually informative patterns. Problem, cause, solution, or problem, solution, benefits are usually persuasive patterns. All right.